Okay, we're going to talk about 5 things. First is the claim of the director of DIRO and ETA. He said that the new management of ADOR asked him to delete all NewJeans videos on his channel, and how is ADOR responding to it? Second, Bunnies sued HYBE. What are they suing HYBE for? Do they even have the right to do that? Third, allegedly the fan claiming to be an army who sent threats and protest truck to HYBE asking Suga to quit BTS is an NCT fan. Is there any truth to that? We're going to talk about YG's financial trouble. And lastly, the old news that HYBE is losing money and that they are in need of 300 million fast. The director of DIRO and ETA claimed that ADOR's new management asked him to delete all NewJeans videos on his channel. NewJeans' DIRO and ETA music video director claimed that the new management of ADOR has requested that all NewJeans-related content be deleted from his social media accounts. He also claimed that from then on, they won't be able to work with NewJeans, and that he is apologizing to fans who are constantly waiting for new materials from them. He also emphasized that their group or their channel actually never earned from all the videos that they have uploaded. ADOR naturally responded. ADOR stated that they requested to take down the director's cut of ETA because it had parts that the advertiser didn't approve. They also reiterated that since ADOR owns the copyright of the music video and all related works actually belong to ADOR, then all videos must be uploaded in ADOR's official channels. However, they didn't request for all videos to be deleted. They simply asked the director to delete that specific director's cut because it had a part which was disapproved by the advertiser. So what happens now? The last paragraph of ADOR's statement states that we strongly regret the breach of contract and dissemination of false information by the Dolphin Mobilization Group. That's a hint towards a lawsuit because breach is actually a legal term. Usually in a contract between a company and a vendor, there are clauses that would include how they can settle disputes or disagreements, and they try to do that internally first before going into a lawsuit. And for sure, going to the public and talking to the public about it is not something that would be on the contract, in the contract that they would sign. The only kink that ADOR could experience is if there is no contract at all, or if there is a contract, there is no clause about dispute resolution, which I highly doubt. Another issue is that another YouTube channel that they use, Banhi, is actually affiliated to Kakao. And now there is nothing wrong with working with Kakao. To a certain degree, they are, because Kakao owns different companies that they have no choice but to work with. But then, because of everything that has been happening, even the Kakao CEO and founder is facing charges for manipulating stocks so that they could block HYBE's effort to try and become the majority shareholder, majority owner of SM. It would be better for them to not work with companies like that. Now, if there is an existing contract, the only thing that HYBE is actually doing right at this moment is to try and keep their IPs within their own channels. Next issue, Bunnies sues HYBE. NewJeans fans called Bunnies filed a legal complaint against HYBE, Source Music, and Dispatch for allegedly violating privacy laws and defaming NewJeans by leaking and misusing personal information of the members. The complaint was filed with the Seoul Yongsan Police Station. It accused HYBE of leaking private information about NewJeans that caused negative press and hate comments on NewJeans. This resulted in damages to the group's reputation. A representative of Bunnies said that they will go after netizens or other reporters who are posting maliciously about NewJeans. Are they allowed to file a lawsuit in behalf of someone else? First, they filed a complaint, not yet a lawsuit. So they filed a complaint to the police. The police will investigate. If it is necessary, they'll call in people to question and then forward that to the prosecutor's office, and they will decide if there is enough to go on with a lawsuit. And yes, anyone with a direct knowledge on a crime can actually sue. And in South Korea, defamation or libel is actually a criminal case. So yes, they can definitely sue. Do they have legal grounds? Before I answer this, let me just do a disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. This is not a legal advice. This should be a part of a larger research, okay? All right. Now, from the tone of the release, they seem to be referring to the rehearsal video of Source Music that featured the members of NewJeans rehearsing Attention before they debuted. It contradicted some of the claims of Min Hee-jin, including that she was the one who thought of everything in regards to the music and aesthetics of NewJeans. It also sort of supported some of the things that people theorized, including the Source Music was the one who financed the training of NewJeans members. They could also be referring to the KakaoTalk messages of Min Hee-jin that was leaked to the media, and it revealed that Min Hee-jin actually called some people names, including NewJeans, fans of NewJeans, and the former employee of ADOR, who sued or complained about one of the vice presidents of ADOR for sexual harassment. Now, in the first instance about the video of NewJeans members when they were under Source Music, if they can prove the Source Music or HYBE does not have any rights to use that video for whatever purpose it suits them, then they have a case. Usually, though, companies would ask the trainees or their parents, if they are underage, to sign a waiver that allows them to use footages and images and videos. But maybe there isn't. If they can prove that, then yes, they have a case. Another thing is in connection to the KakaoTalk messages, for libel and defamation to exist, there has to be damages. I discussed that in a previous libel case. Now, if they can prove that because of those KakaoTalk messages, the IP or the business of NewJeans was damaged, then yes, they do have a case. The last comeback was actually pretty good. It wasn't as good as the previous ones, but that's an industry-wide problem. Everyone is selling less. But if Bunnies can prove it some other way that the business or the IP was damaged, then yes, they have a case. Korean media actually started picking up this news. NCT fans were allegedly the ones who sent shocks calling for Suga to quit BTS. It actually started with a TikTok post. Someone from TikTok posted that they created an account to raise funds so that they can call Suga to quit BTS. The person used the same username on X and TikTok. On X, this person shared a Google Sheet showing an accounting on how they used the money for protest trucks and rifts. Now, when Google Sheet is shared, you can actually see the author and other accounts that created the sheet and who modified it. Detective Army searched for the email address on Google, and they found the person's Pinterest page, and it had a lot of NCT content. Now, the account claimed she was just saving the photos for work, but other armies joined the detective work. They found that she bookmarked NCT 127 on Instas. She also won contests for NCT, which usually means you had to buy hundreds of albums to be able to win. If you visit the person's X account, which is still public as of recording, you will see photos of different merch, army membership card, photos of albums, and others. She didn't deny that she is the person who owns the Pinterest page and the person who sent the rifts and the trucks. All she is insisting is that she is an army and not an NCT fan. So does this mean that she is actually an army? It could mean that she was an army, because I just firmly believe that if you want one member out, you're not an army. But we don't even know if those pictures are hers. We don't even know if those products are hers. We don't even know if she actually purchased them. But there is, I feel like, a bigger issue that we're not talking about. How did this person get to this point? For her to raise this much money, spend this much time just to try and get one member out of a group. I understand being passionate about something that you're spending a lot of money on it. There are a lot of basketball diehard fans that would buy championship tickets worth thousands and thousands, or signed jerseys, or a baseball fan that would spend thousands of dollars on a baseball card. I understand diehard Star Wars fans that spend thousands on Star Wars toys and buy and travels the whole world to try and go to the filming locations on Star Wars. But to spend thousands just to try and get a member of a group out, she could have spent that money on something that would be more productive for her, not even related to an artist or K-pop, just to learn a skill, or I don't know, to end. I understand if it is to end hunger or to try and make a help somebody who got abused or something, but to try and get a member of a boy band, it's just, I can't wrap my head around it. I think she needs something, an outlet, but I just can't wrap my head around it, and that's just my take. YG's financial overhaul continues. YG Entertainment is closing its Dance Academy YGX to focus on its core business. They are currently liquidating their assets, but they said that some people from YGX will be absorbed by YG Entertainment. In the last several years, YG has drastically slimmed down its business in an effort to fix its finances. It has faced several challenges in the last several years. First was the Burning Sun scandal. It involved Seungri, a former member of Big Bang. He was accused and eventually convicted of forcing women to do sexual acts and filming them. He was convicted and spent 18 months in jail. YG's founder Yang Yun-suk was also convicted of threats of retaliation on a former YG trainee. He is currently the producer of Baby Monsters, but hasn't gone back as the CEO of YG. LVMH, the mother company of Louis Vuitton, pulled out its investments, which started a string of financial challenges for YG actually. YG had to pay LV 64 billion won. To try and cover the losses, they actually sold 100% of their share in Greenworks. It is an operator of the country's top golf reservation platform, X Golf. They also have already sold the controlling stake in the production studio Studioplex. This quarter, YG reported 2.1 billion Korean won, or 1.575 million of bad debt from Blackpink's concert. And for the sake of their employees and the future of Baby Monsters, I hope they get everything in order. Is HYBE scrambling for $300 million? Once again, something is starting to circulate on Twitter and on other social media platforms and forums claiming that HYBE is scrambling for 300 million. HYBE is actually planning to raise 400 billion won, about $300 million, by issuing convertible bonds. This is a type of loan that can later be converted into company shares. Three major South Korean investment firms, Mirai Assets, Korea Investments and Securities, and Samsung Securities actually competed. And the competition was allegedly first because big investment opportunities like this have become very, very rare. Each company presented very, very compelling proposals. HYBE's bond have a zero interest rate and can be converted into company shares at a price 20% higher than the current stock price. HYBE is raising money so that they can refinance bonds HYBE issued 3 years ago. However, if HYBE stock price drops, there won't be any adjustments to the conversion price, meaning investors are taking on some risks. But with the return of BTS members next year, companies are anticipating the stock to go up. Ultimately, HYBE chose Mirai Assets to handle the deal. So is HYBE losing money? Here we go again. No. This is a usual practice. If you want to finance something like a convertible bond, you can actually sell convertible bonds. And they're doing that. Look at YG Entertainment. They are just liquidating and selling their assets. And we know that HYBE has a lot of assets. So if they really are desperate, they can just sell their assets. But they are far from that. Also, let's remember that they are actually a startup in the US, in South Korea. They've been around less than 10 years. So they are going to continue to raise funds. They are going to continue to look for new investors and new partners as they expand, because you do need initial funds, especially when you're starting in a new country and whatever. So this, it's, you know, it's an ongoing thing until they become not startups anymore. All right, I hope that's clear. I hope the concept of convertible bonds and raising funds and all and stocks, and I hope those are clear. Let me know if you have questions, and let me know what your thoughts are. Leave them in the comment section below. You can say anything that you want to say, for as long as you are respectful. Also, if you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And share the video if you can. Also follow me on Patreon. I do have a free tier. Follow me on X or on Twitter, and also on Instagram. I will start posting there as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.